Good morning to all. In the previous class, we have studied about two kingdom classification. Can you say who proposed two kingdom classification? Yes, Carl Linnaeus proposed two kingdom classification. Okay, very good. Then, what are the two kingdoms mentioned in two kingdom classification? Yes, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. Okay, very good. Carl Linnaeus included unicellular protozoans and multicellular animals under the kingdom Animalia. Because of their compact body, holozoic nutrition, Linnaeus placed unicellular protozoans and multicellular animals under kingdom Animalia. He done so because of their compact body, holozoic nutrition and locomotion. Okay, and he grouped all other organisms under the kingdom Plantae because of their immobility and autotrophic mode of nutrition. Then let us see what are the drawbacks of two kingdom classification. First one is no distinction of prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryote means unicellular organism without a nucleus is called prokaryote, and a unicellular organism with a nucleus is called eukaryote. There is no distinction between unicellular organism and multicellular organism in two kingdom classification. They are placed in the same kingdom. Another drawback is photosynthetic organism and non-photosynthetic organism are placed together. Because of these drawbacks and later on knowledge of diversity of species, R.S. Whitaker classified organisms into 5 kingdoms, and this classification is known as 5 kingdom classification. Today we are studying about 5 kingdom classification, that is 5 kingdom classification. Classification is based on certain characteristics like mode of nutrition, thallus organization, cell structure, phylogenetic relationships and reproduction. Let us see what are they. Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Plantae, Kingdom Animalia are the 5 kingdoms. Okay. R.S. Whitaker ക്ലാസിഫൈ ചെയ്തു ഓർഗാനിസത്തിനെ 5 കിങ്ഡം ആയിട്ട്. അപ്പൊ അതേതൊക്കെയാണ്? കിങ്ഡം മൊണീറ, കിങ്ഡം പ്രൊട്ടിസ്റ്റ, കിങ്ഡം ഫഞ്ചൈ, കിങ്ഡം പ്ലാന്റേ ആൻഡ് കിങ്ഡം അനിമാലിയ. Today we are discussing about the topic 5 kingdom classification proposed by R.S. Whitaker. Okay, then let us see what are the 5 kingdoms and its peculiarities. We already said that there are 5 kingdoms and they are Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Plantae and Kingdom Animalia. The organisms included in these kingdoms are, in Kingdom Monera, some organisms included in this kingdom as bacteria, and the peculiarities of the organisms included under the kingdom Monera are unicellular and they are without nucleus. So they are called as, yes, prokaryotes. Then next kingdom is Kingdom Protista, and the organisms included under this kingdom is amoeba. And their peculiarities are, they are unicellular, means they are single cell and they are with nucleus, hence they are eukaryotes. Next kingdom is Kingdom Fungi, and Example for the organism under the kingdom fungi is mushroom. And their peculiarities are they are non-motile. Non-motile means they have no mobility or they are unable to move. Okay. Then they are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means they have no ability to prepare their own food. Hence, they have to depend on other organisms for their food. Then they are unicellular. Unicellular or multicellular means they are seen as single cell or as multicellular organisms. Next one is kingdom Plantae. Organism under the category kingdom Plantae are plants. Their peculiarities are they are autotrophic. Autotrophic means they have the ability to prepare their own food. Okay, very good. And they are multicellular. Means they are not single cell and they are made up of many cells. Then they are non-motile. They have no ability to move. Then next kingdom is kingdom Animalia. And organism included under this Animalia are animals. Their peculiarities, they are heterotrophic. Heterotrophic means yes, they cannot prepare their own food and hence they have to depend on other organisms for their food. Okay, very good.
5 kingdom classification. First kingdom is Monera. Organisms included in the kingdom is bacteria. Its peculiarities are unicellular organisms without nucleus. That means they are unicellular and they have no nucleus. Then next one is Protista. Organisms included in the kingdom is amoeba. They are unicellular organisms with a nucleus. You have to note the difference. That is, bacteria they are unicellular but they have no nucleus. But amoeba they are unicellular organisms with a nucleus. Then next one is fungi. Organisms included in the kingdom are mushrooms. They are non-motile, means they cannot move. Then heterotrophs, that means they depend on other organisms for their food. That means they are consumers. Then next unicellular or multicellular organisms. That means mushrooms, they may be unicellular or multicellular. Next one is Plantae. The organism included in the kingdom is plants. They are autotrophs. That means they are producers. They can prepare their food with the help of photosynthesis. And they are multicellular and they are non-motile organisms. That means they cannot move. Next one is kingdom Animalia. Organisms included in the kingdom is animals. Peculiarities: heterotrophic multicellular organisms that have the capacity of locomotion. Heterotrophs you already studied about it. Okay, then multicellular, yes, you also know about multicellular organisms and they have the capacity of locomotion. That means they can move. I hope all of you have studied about this 5 kingdom classification. That means there what are the kingdoms, the 5 kingdoms and the organisms included in the kingdom and their peculiarities. Then I will show a video.
To know more about 5 kingdom classification, let us see a video.
As we know, there are different types of organisms living on this planet. These living organisms are quite enormous in number and highly diversified in their characters. For better approach, living organisms have been classified into different groups by different workers. Carl Linnaeus, known as the father of classification, classified organisms into two kingdom systems, Kingdom Plantae and Kingdom Animalia. But this system had a number of demerits. Subsequently, R. H. Whitaker, an American taxonomist, in 1969 proposed the five-kingdom classification and divided the living world into five kingdoms: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Whitaker's five-kingdom system is based on five factors: complexity of cell structure, complexity of an organism's body, mode of nutrition, lifestyles, and phylogenetic relationships. Let's understand these five factors one by one. The first factor is the complexity of cell structure. On the basis of the nucleus and other characteristics, two types of cells are recognized. The first type is a simple primitive cell known as prokaryotic cell, as in the case of bacteria and algae. The second type of cell is an eukaryotic cell which has a complex structure and is found in fungi, plants and animalia. The second factor is the complexity of an organism's body. The earliest organisms were unicellular. Later on, complex eukaryotic forms evolved, and in due course of time, they evolved into multicellular organisms. The third factor is the mode of nutrition. There are two modes of nutrition: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. The process by which organisms synthesize their own food is known as autotrophic nutrition. For example, plants and certain bacteria. In heterotrophic nutrition, organisms depend on other organisms or plants for their food. Heterotrophic nutrition is of three main types: holozoic, saprophytic, and parasitic. Holozoic mode of nutrition refers to the intake of solid food and breaking it into a simple form. In case of saprophytic nutrition, organisms obtain their food from dead and decaying organic matter, while in case of parasitic nutrition, organisms depend partially or completely on other organisms for their food, causing damage to the host organisms. The fourth factor that was considered while making this five-kingdom system is the lifestyle. On the basis of the lifestyles, organisms have been put into three groups. The first group is that of producers. Plants which utilize light energy, water and carbon dioxide to synthesize their organic food are producers. The second group based on lifestyles is that of consumers, which are animals that consume either plants or other animals to survive. The third group is that of decomposers, such as bacteria and fungi, which depend on the dead remains of plants and animals for their food and decompose them. The last and the fifth factor is the phylogenetic relationship. Phylogeny is the evolutionary history of organisms and an index of true relationship among organisms. All kingdoms are arranged to show the probable phylogenetic relationships among them based on fossils and other evidences. Such arrangement allows us to visualize an increase of complexity with evolutionary time.
All of you have understand today's topic. Then I will give you an activity.
The activity given to you is find out the name of five kingdoms from this puzzle box.